I visited Australia while on board Celebrity Edge and went adventuring deep in the Daintree Rainforest and even spotted crocodiles along the banks of the Daintree River. Then, a scenic cruise around Willis Island, which doubles as a weather station just off the coast of Queensland.
We are in Port Douglas, Australia. It's over here. You can kind of see part of it behind me. Another tender port. All of our ports this cruise are tender ports. Currently 11:30 in the morning. I got up earlier this morning, went and got breakfast up at Luminae. Had a great time. Luminae is always delicious. And today we're visiting the Daintree Rainforest, and it should be pretty fun. We're actually going on a boat ride, so there might be crocodiles. Welcome to the Daintree Rainforest. The Daintree Rainforest is the longest living rainforest in the entire world. It's interesting that, a lot of folks like to say, and I've said it many times this trip, that it seems like everything in Australia is trying to kill you, Just so many dangerous animals here. We saw the cassowary bird yesterday. We're going to see some maybe crocodiles here in a bit in this video. But even here in the rainforest, the guide was telling us that most of the plants, most of the fruit, most of the nuts and the seeds in the rainforest, right here in the Daintree, are poisonous. You can't eat them. So literally everything from the plants, the animals, all sorts of species are trying to kill you in Australia. All the signs do say danger, but they also said no swimming back at the entrance. There's actually a lot of folks out here in the water. Not so much because of crocodiles here, but because of strong currents, deep water, and submerged boulders. Conditions in this creek are unpredictable. Water levels can rise rapidly without warning, mainly because of all the rainfall they've had lately. There's just so much water. It's so heavy. The currents are so strong and unpredictable that they're saying do not swim here.
Spinning around and you can get to see whatever you need to see.
I only got to see a couple of crocodiles, and they were very young. I think maybe 1 to 2 years. Very, very small. Probably the most startling thing to see, though, was all the destruction, all the trees down, all the debris from Cyclone Jasper. And they said that Jasper has completely wrecked the ecosystem here. They're not seeing as many crocodiles now because there's not as many fish, there's not as many crabs, there's not as many bottom of the food chain food sources here for the crocodiles. So they're not actually seeing as many here as they used to, and who knows how long it will take for this ecosystem, this area's ecosystem, to recover. So it's always an important thing to remember when you see a storm devastate an area. As much damage as it does to folks' livelihoods, it also does great damage to the local ecosystems, like we've witnessed today on the Daintree River. Also wanted to show this because this is from a flood back in January of 2019. You see the flood level above the river level back there, the river all the way back down the bottom of the hill right down there. They said with Cyclone Jasper, which just went through in December, it was 6 feet above that. So you imagine some water up here all the way up above the riverbank down below. That's how much water was here, covering just about everything that you see inside here.
Now,
much later. It's 7 o'clock. We've sailed away now from Port Douglas, and I'm about to head out for the evening. A lot of stuff going on around the ship tonight, but the excursion was great. It was another one that I booked through Celebrity. It's about $150. Maybe even a little less than that, because I booked it before. I booked it many months ago, and then I would like down price it every time it went on sale. Fun fact, if you already have your excursions booked for your cruise and you see that the price drops via one of their flash sales that they sometimes have, you can cancel that excursion, like no penalty, get a refund, and then rebook it at the new price. So that's how you can do price drops on short excursions. So I did that many times for this one. With that being said, I got to go to the show at 7:15 now. I got to get down there for 7:30, but I'll catch up with you in the morning, because in the morning we're going to be somewhere very exciting. We're going to be at Willis Island for something very cool, and I'll catch up with you then.
I'll go where I want to. Plan the party here.
Good morning. It is now the next day, and today we are sailing near Willis Island. Willis Island is just a small atoll here in the Coral Sea, and you can see it right there in the middle of your screen. That's it. That's as big as it is. But out on the middle there is a weather station operated by the Australian Bureau of Meteorology. And they're actually going to release a weather balloon here in about 12 minutes or so. And we're just going to slowly sail by the island and see as they do that. The captain and a reef pilot is actually coming on to give a little bit of information about the island. But I just wanted you to see this, and hopefully we'll be able to capture the launch of the weather balloon here in just a minute when they do that.
56, when only 240 millimetres rainfall. And the wettest year was 1997, with about 2,480 millimetres of rain. That year's rainfall included a 6-day deluge that dropped more than 1,300 millimetres of rain on the island. Okay, so the north end of the island, you see a blue balloon released from the island. The radio feed below it will unwind on the string to about 60 metres below the balloon.
So that is it. That's Willis Island. We're now done with the presentation. They released the weather balloon promptly at 9:15. So they do the weather balloon at 9:15 a.m. and 9:15 p.m. And it's pretty much the same around the world at weather stations all around the world. Weather balloons are released 2 times a day. Important here and for everywhere, because those balloons go way high into the atmosphere and create what meteorologists call a sounding. So basically a picture of what the upper atmosphere looks like. This is fed into computer models, which then outputs weather forecasts. So you hear meteorologists talk about the weather model showing this, the weather model showing that. That is derived from observations taken all around the world at weather stations, just like the one here at Willis Island. So very important. Also very important because we are hundreds of miles off the coast of Queensland, where we were yesterday. So this station is very important. They have a weather radar here that they can look for like cyclone activity and monitor cyclone activity. They're also taking surface observations. So a lot of weather is taken here, which is then relayed to the Bureau of Meteorology for Australia, which can help protect the folks that live over in Queensland and all of Australia. So this is a very important station. And again, stations like this all around the world are crucial to the weather forecast that we enjoy. So really cool to be able to feature that today and see that here at Willis Island. And now we're going to be sailing south back towards Sydney, but we're going to be sailing to Brisbane, which is our next port of call, where we'll be in 2 days. So this was sort of this stop was billed as Willis Island, scenic cruising. But really, we've only been here like 20 minutes and we're leaving. So it's just an early morning thing and then a day at sea. So yeah, that's the excitement this morning. Now we're going to enjoy our day at sea here on board Celebrity Edge. But how cool to start it with a weather balloon launch at Willis Island. Hello, good evening. It's now been many hours later since we were at Willis Island this morning, and just been enjoying the sea day. I think after a lot of consecutive port days and a lot of exploring, it gets exhausting. And you don't realize sometimes how exhausted you are. But I realized that today. So I've just been relaxing today. Been talking to a lot of you. I've been meeting a lot of you this cruise. I don't think I've ever met so many people before on a cruise. And I want to say, if I met you, if I talked to you, thank you so much. That's really what makes the cruise for me, especially being so far from home and you're meeting people who are talking about your videos and you make that connection through cruising. It's really cool. So thank you so much. If I did meet you, I was so happy and so honored to meet you. Thank you for saying hello. And I always encourage folks, if you do see me on a ship, or anywhere, say hello. I'm happy to meet folks and talk with you, see how your cruise is going, share stories. So thank you for everyone that did this cruise, and I'm sure I'll see many more throughout the course of the cruise. But right now it is 5:55 p.m. Just gonna go out and about, walk around the ship and just see what's going on. Been in my room napping for a while. Earlier, after we went to Willis Island, I actually went up to the retreat sun deck. It was a busy day up there, but they do have food up there during the day. They have tables actually at the bar area. You can sit down and be like served food. They have a very small menu, not a whole lot of stuff. Or actually anywhere around that you're sitting on any of the loungers or anything like that, you can actually get food ordered that come around and you can order food. So I did get a shrimp cocktail. The shrimp cocktail is the very same shrimp cocktail that they have at room service. I was hoping maybe it'd be a little bit more shrimp, but it was the very same shrimp cocktail. And then I had the Luminae burger because I knew I wanted to have one this cruise. And you can get that in Luminae during lunchtime when they're open for lunch, and I haven't gotten one yet. It was very disappointing. Everybody talks about the Luminae burger, and maybe this is a hot topic to say, a hot take rather. I didn't really care for it. It was kind of dry. There's no mayonnaise or anything on it. The bacon, onion jam that they put on top was very dry, so it was a very dry burger. And the fries weren't the truffle fries advertised. It was regular, like Mass Grill, Lido Deck fries. So wasn't that great, was not impressed. So next time I go up there, I'll have to try something different. But yeah, so tonight should be a good night around the ship. I'm going to go to dinner. I'm going to go to the late show at 10:45 tonight. They're actually having the Love and Marriage show, and I know a lot of folks like to go to that. So that's not the main show tonight, but it is a later show, and that, of course, being more for adults only. So it should be a great evening on board here at the Edge. Well, good evening. It's now much later, and you know that thing when you're going to dinner or you're waiting to go to dinner, and you're like, well, let me just pop by the buffet to see maybe what they're having tonight, because, you know, I hear a lot from people, you know, in my comments and stuff. They're like, celebrities changing the food. There's not enough to eat in the buffet. So sometimes I'm like, let me just walk by there because it's dinner time and see what they have. But then I fall into trouble because what they have looks so good. And rest assured, they have plenty of options. There's no lack of options. The buffet was pretty much fully, like all the stations were fully stocked with food. So plenty of food, plenty of different options, a great variety and options, plenty of food. So much so that I ended up making myself a plate and eating dessert. And like they had like barbecue and all sorts of stuff. So I ended up eating dinner there. And I'm like, well, not going to go to Luminae tonight because, you know, I already ate in the buffet. So ended up eating on the buffet impromptu. But it's kind of nice sometimes, you know, when you eat in the dining room a lot, sometimes you just want to go to the buffet and have like good food. And the cool thing about Celebrity, their buffet is just so good. Like the food there is so good. The quality is so good. It was so warm and hot and everything was so good. So really enjoyed eating at the buffet. And then tonight at 10:45, they did have the Love and Marriage show. And so went to that, and that was really good, really funny. It was like an hour and 15 minutes, so a really good long show. All of the couples that they had up on stage were great fun. So really enjoyed the evening on board the ship. Really enjoyed the last couple of days. We still have 3 days left of this cruise. We still have Brisbane and 2 sea days. So you're going to see some of that in the next video, so make sure you come back as we close out this series from here on board Celebrity Edge. And I'll see you on the next adventure.